What's up, everyone? So nice to have you with me here on this Sunday, whether it's morning, evening, or afternoon for you guys, or possibly even Monday, depending on what part of the world you're in. Today, I'm coming at you with my April TBR. Now, that being said, this is a very eclectic collection of books, and I truly don't know how far into this collection of books I'm actually going to make it this month. There's lots of really exciting things happening in my personal life that I'm super, super stoked about, and some trips coming up for me. So because of that reason, I think my reading time might be a little bit more limited than normal. So that being said, it might be a slightly shorter reading month for me. However, that being said, I do have some exciting picks that I want to share with you guys. And I would love to know what you guys are reading this month as well. So without any further ado, let's hop into it. So the first book I have here is Happily Never After. This is the new Lynn Painter book. It was literally released, I want to say end of last month, beginning of April. So this has been on my TBR pretty much ever since they announced that it was going to be released. I am about halfway through the book so far. And I have mixed thoughts on it so far. In general, any Lynn Painter book I tend to be a big fan of. Her young adults are particularly very, very, very adorable and just so warm and cozy and fun reads. So I definitely do enjoy her writing style. As far as her adult books go, I feel like they're not as warm and cozy and as kosher, if you will, as some of her younger books are. But I thoroughly enjoyed her other two adult books, which was The Love Wager as well as Mr. Wrong Number, both of which were very, very entertaining. So I'm hoping that this would kind of be the same vibes. So very excited to read this. The concept of this book is basically that there are two characters, starting out with the main female protagonist who is about to walk into a marriage with a man that she is absolutely dreading. And so she hires the quote unquote objector to assist her with getting out of her wedding. And he basically shows up and objects, as well as shares some hidden details from her fiance's, soon to be husband's, life that then makes it kosher for her to walk out of the marriage. She enjoys it so much and she connects with the objector so much that she decides she wants to be a part of the scene as well. And so she becomes the objectress. And together they are the objecting team that go to all weddings where the groom or the bride might be itching to get out of the wedding and they don't know how to do it. And they do what they can to help them out. The premises sounds really cute. Another component of it is that the main female protagonist also genuinely feels that real true love is not a thing. And so it's very entertaining to see their journey together so far. I will definitely come back at you with more reviews once the book is finished. So far, cute, enjoyable, but definitely not quite striking a 5-star chord with me thus far. But I am enjoying the story and the plot. The next book on my list is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This book took the world by storm when it first came out back in 2022. It's basically following the life of two people who meet and end up becoming friends over their love of video games. And it basically follows their trajectory throughout their life in various points of their life, and how their friendship continues to grow and the different meanings of love, as well as relationships, human relationships, while being set within this world of video games. This was actually voted Book of the Year back in 2022. And so ever since then, I have been very excited to read it. Video games are not quite my thing. I do have quite a few video games. I used to play them when I was a kid, and I actually have a Nintendo Switch, which my brother's biggest chagrin is that I don't play with it enough. So I feel like there might be things in here that I would enjoy, but I've heard from other reviews that I've seen on this book that the way that it's written, it's not overpowering with the video games where you feel lost if you're not really familiar with that world. But the overall plot and storyline is absolutely beautifully written. So I'm very, very excited to dive into this month. And also that cover, just look at that cover, how beautiful. Moving into the next book, this is actually a book that was selected for one of my book clubs, and this is The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. It's basically a bunch of human essays, I believe, that have been compiled together, and that's pretty much all I really know about it, but curious to see what this has to hold, and this is being read by my book club, Paper and Glam, read by Lisa Marie Landreth, absolutely wonderful group of women. So much fun to chat with them once a month and enjoy these books and genres. They definitely like to pick a whole slew of various genres so that you really get to explore things that are not your usual, get out of your comfort zone, and also have the freedom to enjoy or dislike based on your preference and taste, and a safe platform to discuss it. Absolutely love reading with these ladies and looking forward to discussing this one at the end of the month. Next up, I have How I'll Kill You. Now this one, I just fell in love with the color of the cover because it's just so cute. Like, who would think a bright pink cover with chocolates on it as the perfect cover for a book that's literally a thriller murder mystery vibe? But I just was very intrigued. And so the concept of this book is basically, this woman is, the main character, Sissy, is from a family of women who are known serial killers. So basically they find a man, they make the man fall for them, and then they move forward with murder. And now Sissy is of the age that it's her turn to do this. And so she ends up meeting a man named Edison. And the plot twist basically goes, based on the back of the book, I obviously haven't read this yet, that Edison and her end up having a relationship which progresses, and her sisters are gunning for her to murder this man and move forward and become part of the sisterhood of serial killers. And she is starting to create a real relationship with this man. And so the question becomes, who is going to walk out of this book alive? And so I can't wait to dig my claws into this book and report back to you about how it goes. But I thought it was a very, very interesting plot. Just to give you a little bit of a hint of what it says on the back of the book: make him want you, make him love you, make him dead. And so that is the premises of this book. So I will definitely let you know how that goes. Next up, I have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Now, this is the next book for my second book club that I'm a part of, the Overbooked Book Club. We meet once a month, usually on the last Wednesday of the month. Every once in a while, we do this Sunday. We always have a poll as to when we should meet and what books we want to read. It's a wonderful, wonderful group of people, and we are primarily based through Facebook. If you're interested in joining us, we would love to have you. We do post monthly polls so that people can decide what book they want to read. And I usually try to post those polls about a week to 2 weeks prior to the actual date of the end of the month, so that you have plenty of time to purchase the book, giving you about 6 weeks to at least get the book and read it for the book club. That being said, this month we decided to do this young adult thriller, which has had rave reviews. Holly Jackson has been a very celebrated author in the young adult world for quite some time. And I've heard, at least in the past, that she's written some books that do make you think about things that aren't commonly thought about as a teenager, but very poignant points in regards to society and, the world of high school and such things altogether. This book in general has often gotten many 5-star reviews from what I've seen, and is rated pretty high on Goodreads. So I am excited to dig into this book and discuss it in the future with my book club. That being said, this is a series, so I am hoping to jump into the second and third book in the series as well, which is Good Girls, Bad Blood, as well as Good as Dead. So hopefully we'll be able to make it through these 3 young adult books between a combination of physically reading them as well as Audible. But I'm very, very excited to power through these and have a fun, thrilling April in that regard. Next up, I have few books in another series that I read. For those of you who watched my February reads wrap up, I read a book in February called The Bromance Book Club. It's right there on my bookshelf if you can see it. Absolutely fell in love with that book. Absolutely love the concept of that book. And it was probably one of my first 5-star reads of the year. I think I originally rated it around a 4 stars, but considering the fact that I haven't stopped thinking about it since I read it back in February, I really feel like I should change my rating to a 5-star. I don't know what truly makes it a 5-star for me. I think it's just the premises and the fact that the characters are so adorable and so cute. And so ever since then, I'm just like, I need to read the rest of the series. So I plan on finishing the series minus the final book that she has released in this series so far, because that one is set in a Christmas setting. So I'm hoping to read that closer to the holiday season. But I am working my way through the other 3 books in the series. So the first one is undercover bromance, and this is following one of the secondary characters from the first book, as well as the sister to the protagonist of the main female lead in the first book. I wasn't a huge fan of the sister in the first book, so I'm kind of curious to see where she goes with this, but the main male character lead is actually very, very cute, very entertaining in the first book, so I'm excited to read his point of view. He is a baseball player, famous baseball player who then goes into club ownership. So he has a bunch of nightclubs and things like that. And he's the one that actually started the Bromance Book Club. And so basically the concept is it's a bunch of powerful men either in high-level positions, whether it be the music industry or in athletics or, hacking, whatever it might be, like classically very male-dominant fields, and that too very, very good at what they do. So very well-off men who get together and read romance books in order to better understand females and are very open with each other and actually express their emotions in order to help each other with their relationships. They also fully believe in women's independence, women's rights, and they actually treat women as equals, which is very cute to see. And it's just absolutely wonderful read. So I did actually end up finishing this book. This was a solid 4 stars for me. I did really enjoy it. I will say I liked the first one better, but still enjoyed this one. And so then after that, the next book that I'm currently reading right now, I don't know if you can see the bookmark, is Crazy Stupid Bromance. And this one is hitting home even more for me because the female protagonist in this book is also the owner of a ginormous Mancoon angry cat. And I was like, yes, that's basically my life. My black cat is absolutely adorable, but she has mood swings for sure. And my little one also goes through mood swings, but they're just absolutely fluffy, adorable, little crazy, lovable animals that I just adore to death. So any book that's going to have a cat in it, I'm probably going to enjoy. And then on top of that, you add in the Bromance Book Club and I'm just done. So very excited to finish this book. Already loving it so far. About a third of the way through the book so far and very much looking forward to finishing this one. And then the next one that I have in the series that I'm planning on reading is Isn't It Bromantic? And this particular one follows another one of the side characters and his wife. And he is known as the Russian. He's a very, very highly male character, like described as being like this really big athletic build, almost like bodyguard vibes, has like very strong Secret Service kind of presence to him based on his physical descriptions in the book, and then is also a baseball player. And he and his wife have been married from convenience back in the day, and now their relationship is a little bit confusing, a little bit strained, and so he uses the benefits of the Bromance Book Club in order to reconnect with his wife. And so again, just sounds absolutely adorable, and his character is just so funny and so cute and so much fun to read in the other books, and I can't wait to read his book. So that would then bring us to a close in terms of the 2 series that I've discussed so far, which was the Good Girl's Guide to Murder as well as the Bromance Book Club series. And so I thought, why not keep the series going this year? And so I decided that I was going to read a sci-fi selection this month, which is actually out of the norm for me, but it is something that I enjoy. So a series that my brother has been really pushing at me has been the Pierce Brown Red Rising series. And so not only did I decide, I was like, fine, okay, I'll read this, but I was like, I'm only going to read it if I get to have pretty copies. And so I actually went on to fairyloot.com and was able to find these beautiful versions of the Red Rising series. And so I actually got the iron versions of these books, and they're absolutely stunning. Like, those are the painted edges on the first book, and then the actual, I don't know if you can tell, but the actual cover itself is metallic and it does have a sheen to it. And then when you take the cover off, the actual book is stunning too. So the spine of this book is absolutely gorgeous. You can see that this has the male character, and again, all in very glossy metallic red. And then when you open to the first page, they also have depictions within the book covers as well. So absolutely gorgeous books. Very excited to read this. It does sound up my alley in terms of high stakes and basically trying to assert their civilization and find a safe place to call home, while also realizing the corruption within their system. And so I am very curious to see what this has to hold and enjoy this book. The back says, "The measure of a man is what he does when he has power." So I'm very, very curious to see how the power struggle goes. I'm an absolute nerd. I love the Star Wars series, love the Star Trek series, have read some of the books, have grown up with it, enjoy Lord of the Rings, the movies, not the books. The books were a little much for me. Loved The Hobbit by Tolkien. So I have had my fair share of reading like sci-fi slash more, I don't want to say like intense, but more like fantasy books as well. So I feel like this will be right up my alley. So I am curious to see what this book has in store. That then leads us to the second book in this series, which is Morning Star. And this is the cover of this one. Absolutely beautiful blue. And you can see, again, those painted edges, just absolutely gorgeous. And then when you take the cover off, again, just that beautiful, beautiful blue. And this is the inside cover of this book. Just absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous illustrations. And so very excited to jump into this series. And last but not least, in the immediate 3-part series of Red Rising, not including the secondary set of books that followed this trilogy, is Golden Sun. And so I'm also very excited to dive into this one. And again, just beautiful, beautiful cover art. Again, beautiful painted spine, just absolutely gorgeous. And then again, interior is just absolutely beautiful. So very, very excited to dive into this book as well. And so that puts me, I believe, at a total of 12 books for the month. So we'll see if I can get through the TBR, if I completely end up throwing these out and finding a different set of books to read. But I am very excited to start this April reading journey month. So to recap, we're doing the Red Rising series, which includes 3 books in total for the first 3 books. So we have Red Rising, Morning Star, and Golden Sun. So I am really excited to read these. And again, if you like these copies, I don't know if they're still available, but these are the Fairy Loot Iron versions. And then next I have the romances of the month, which is going to be the next 3 books in the Bromance Book Club series, which is Undercover Bromance, Crazy Stupid Bromance, and Isn't It Bromantic? So I will definitely report back on these books, but absolutely love Lyssa Kay Adams, and I will read any book she puts out in this series because I just adore this storyline so much. And then the next set of series that we have is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And there is a 4th book as part of this series, which is the novella known as Killjoy. So I do plan on getting that as well. I have been told by some of my friends who have read this series before to read Killjoy first. So I might jump into that first and then move forward with these 3 books, but I am excited to read these. And then I have How I'll Kill You by Ren DeStefano, who I have never read before. So I'm very curious to see how this goes and will definitely let you guys know what I think about it. But just absolutely love this cover, and I'm so looking forward to reading this book because it just sounds hilarious to me, actually. And then I have John Green's The Anthropocene Reviewed, and I'm very excited to see these essays that have been collected and what they have to say. So should be a fun read, and I'm very curious to see what everyone else in my book club thinks about this book, and am looking forward to discussing it. And then I have Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. Definitely looking forward to jumping into this book as well, especially given that it was the 2022 book of the year for book of the month. And so usually their selections are already phenomenal. So to think that this book actually got voted book of the year as well is just very exciting. And I'm definitely looking forward to sinking my teeth into this one. And then last but not least, we have Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. So again, altogether we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 this month. So I will catch you guys soon with a reading wrap up when we get through these books, and maybe some weekly vlogs just kind of covering what I've been reading in a week and such things. Looking forward to chit-chatting with you guys soon. Hope you're having a wonderful April reading month so far and a much, much exciting one to come. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your favorite books as well. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.